Alright, today looks like we're going to be doing a spark plug change on a 2013 xDrive 35i. This is the single turbo N55, pretty awesome vehicle. This one's got a little bit of work done to it, but I believe the same rules apply for just about anything you're going to do with these as far as turbo models go. Well, let's get into it. Alright, so for some of this we're going to get to listen to the wonderful song of the Weed Whacker. Most of it will hopefully get drowned out by the sound of not having to listen to me talk about a whole lot of nothing. So, in a nutshell, what we got to do, take the intake off, take the air inlet off, MAF pipe comes with it, engine cover, and there's a loom along the back that we can get off. It's a little difficult if you don't have a very short driver for it, but we can most certainly get it off with a little bit of elbow grease and I don't know, I think like a 6mm socket or something like that if you have a bit, a T20 bit. So here we go. Now comes the next fun part, moving some of the evap. Now, this one here, no idea where it goes, somewhere down in the intake manifold. And also this guy right here. This one is going to be brittle, and then in particular on this one, it actually did break and come apart. So what we're going to do is, I already replaced it with a piece of 3/4 inch hose. Now, bear in mind, that isn't the right piece of hose for this. I think it's actually, that's coolant hose. I would recommend getting something that's oil resistant. Pull that guy out. Remove this bottom clamp. Don't forget to unclip the mass airflow sensor back here, but we'll do that in a second. After we get this guy down here undone. Oops, apparently that's the wrong one. That's 10mm. This is just going to slide out of there now. That guy off to the side. Now we got to take this tray off right here. It's a little easier said than done. What you're going to need is T25 bit. Probably not going to be able to read that, but whatever. And in this particular instance, I loaded into the my electric ratchet here and just stuff it in there, and it works out pretty good. Only catch on this side, probably going to want to move the battery cable up. That way it's out of the way when you go and reach this. There's 3 bolts on this side. You're not going to be able to see them. The outermost bolts, or the outermost torque screws, are the ones you're going to need to take off. And be extra careful you don't drop any of those things. That is an utter nightmare on this thing. See, on this side, you're not going to be able to do that. So what you got to do is just find another way. And in particular, the other way is one of these, just to adapt out your impact driver to accept a 6-point bit. There it is. You've released your loom holder, and you're going to want to take this off of here too. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but get it off, get it out of the way. Now for my final trick to get just to the spark plugs. Go over here to where your oxygen sensor clips mount. Pop this one off, and I don't think this one works for this still, but you got to find the appropriate bit for that, which I believe is a T30. Well, it's not ideal. T30 looks to be the winner. Brackets out of the way. Now you can remove the coil packs. Pop each one of these. They've already been in here once before, so these are going to come out easier than yours will. I'm going to want to remove them in a jerking, twisting motion because they get nice and stuck. Alright, now comes the fun part. You need to go and pick up a special socket just for these spark plugs, because BMW knows best, so they say. The special socket is a thin wall, 14 millimeter pretty much, but it also needs to be 12 points. This one in particular was designed for this application. Got them down at AutoZone, it appears, for about $6-7 instead of the $20 that BMW charges. And you can see how close it is to the diameter of that, because the well where the spark plug resides is actually recessed, and the spark plug tube going through the head is not only conical, it also is sitting at a slight angle. So the thinner the socket, the better your chances are of getting these out. So my recommendation, don't waste your time. Go get a $7 socket from AutoZone or whoever's got one of these things. In particular, this one was designed for BMW, Mini Cooper, Ford, Nissan, Subaru, Scion, Toyota, and more. Blah blah blah. So here we go. Alright, so for about the first 4 or 5 of these, you might be able to get away with the 1-foot extension and the deep well. Next ones you're going to probably want to downgrade to a, I don't know, this must be a 6 or an 8. That way you can get yourself in there without too much of a problem, because they're recessed pretty deep. So there's 2 3s, so this one must be a 7. It's an oddball, but you get the idea. So here it is. Got the first plug out. Looking a little bit, little peaked. The electrode's a little bit worn. I have to check the gap to see how it's looking. These should be set to 18 thousandths for these particular applications. Not entirely sure if it's the same for every car. However, that's the way it works on this one. Alright, so factory gap is somewhere around 28 thousandths. This one we're going to gap them down to 18. You can see here, these are right out of the box. They're damn near 28 thousandths. So you'd probably be okay to load these into a factory engine. You know, not too far off. Probably around 29, almost 30. But close enough for non-tuned applications or anybody that's just changing them for, say, your relatives. And we'll just throw a plug back in there. They're all gapped to 18 thousandths now, because this is a tuned application. And gently slide it in there so you don't mess up your gap, and begin to thread it in. And once you're all done with getting all these in there, put everything back exactly the way you took it apart and fire it up. Now, during reassembly, you're also going to want to probably drop a little bit of dielectric grease in the end of the boot. Not going to hurt anything, but it also may help you get these off should you have to do this again at some point in the future, which more than likely you will, because even though the service interval says 40, 60, 30, whatever, performance doesn't exactly stay the same no matter what you do. Alright, she's all put back together, and let's see how she runs. Running good. And that's all she wrote for this one. Another one for the books.